Greetings and welcome to Mind Over Number. I am Karonda, spiritual coach, intuitive reader, and numerologist. Clearing my space for this Life Path 4 reading. Before we get started, we always give thanks to the Divine Mother, Father, God, who helps me interpret these messages in the way they are meant to be received. So if you are of negative orientation, not serving my highest good, you likely won't like my energy. Welcome to stay, but you probably won't enjoy it. If you don't know how to calculate your life path number, just add the single digits of your birth year to the single or double digit of your birth month, and add that to the single or double digit of your birthday. To know more about my method and how I'm able to add depth to your numerology reading by using the tarot as well as the astrological, okay, it's a big word, correspondence to each of the numbers, you could check out the numerology info playlist on the channel, where I go over my how to find your life path number in a few of those videos. All my information is in the description box as well if you would like to book a numerology reading from me, where I look at other core numbers in your chart, such as your soul urge number, your personality, your karmic numbers, your maturity numbers, hidden passion number, as well as your pinnacle and challenge numbers, your life cycles ages 0 through 81, as well as my other services that I offer. If you're interested in, house numerology, dates, times, event, and such, you can send me a direct email. So that's my little spiel. For this particular reading, this is going to be a reading targeted towards getting you from feeling heavy into more authentically yourself, right? A lot of times we can feel weighed down by the burdens of just living, okay? Life, adulting, okay? And sometimes it could be hard to pinpoint exactly where we're not giving value to ourselves, where we're not noticing our worth, where we're not stepping to our power. So hopefully by the end of this reading, we'll be able to get some advice on how my fours can step forward into their authority. All right, I'm ready here. So let's get set and let's go. All right, rolled an 11 here. Now 11 is the number of enlightenment. It is the number of truth. It is the number that allows you to recognize that everyone is really just a reflection of you. And what you say, what you do, how you act influences other people more than you realize. Right, your inner world is automatically a reflection of your outside world. So if you're noticing certain behaviors or words are being said around you that you said, well, it's likely because someone was influenced by your actions, right? The 11th month or the 11th day of any month could be significant. I'm going to get 11 cubes out of this Zodiac bag to help give you confirmation for this reading. Always take what resonates for you, leave what does not. Do not make anything fit. But if it does fit, you can call that a sign and synchronicity for you. Now we got a few things coming out here. Alright, fours. What do we have going on? We have Pisces, Libra, Cancer, Aries, and Virgo. So these could be your signs or the signs of someone you are dealing with. You could also be born on the cusp of Libra Virgo season, as that energy is here. Or know someone who is. We also have the times and space of July 23rd through August 22nd and November 23rd through December 21st. So something could be significant that will occur, has occurred during those times. That could be your birthday, someone else, a significant event. Those are Leo and Sagittarius seasons. Now we have the element of water, the water bearer, the bull, and the goat. So, what this is telling me is that there is a big challenge or obstacle or upheaval in our life caused by us holding back our emotions or needing to express ourselves in some way. You know, the bull is a creature that's very strong, it's very powerful, but when presented with, red flags, warning signs, it tends to just charge headfirst into situations. Then we have the goat energy, which is also one of those four-legged, grounded creatures. And the problem with, being on all fours is that you don't have freedom to move. You can be very rigid, very structured, right? And it's great for overcoming obstacles, but when it's time to step outside, you can get easily stuck because you're only able to go certain directions. But the goat is capable of overcoming, tough terrain, mountains, rocks, boulders. So I feel like we're reluctant to move forward with something because of how difficult it may seem. Water itself is an element that speaks about our emotions, right? Our feelings, our intuition even. What we know we should do but aren't doing it. Okay? So there's a lot going on here for you already, fours. Before we get into this reading, I'm going to get one message from the Wisdom of the Wild Ones Oracle. Get a message from a fours. What is the message for the life path fours? Okay, well, we got a 4 on the card. And be yourself is the message, because that's what we're talking about, right? Be yourself. Now, 4 is the number of your foundation, right? Your beliefs, family, finances, career. Everything on earth is 4 energy, really. Let's see what the book has to say about be yourself. A wise man once said, be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. Now is the time to stand firm in who you are. That man was Oscar Wilde, by the way. It's not in here. But be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. Now is the time to stand firm in who you are and what you believe. Life has made you the person you are. Do not be ashamed or embarrassed about your weaknesses, nor modest about your strengths. Don't try to hide your weirdness either. It's one of the many things that makes you a compelling creature. In a world that demands your conformity and praises your fitting in, loving yourself is an act of rebellion. When you let your true colors shine and fly that freak flag, your fellow weirdos can find you on the universal radar. Your life will change because of this. You'll no longer go where you're tolerated. Instead, you go where you are celebrated. So, rebel on, you gorgeous freaking weirdo. Alright? Exactly. Be yourself, because everyone else is already taken. Okay, also in the words of my one of my favorite artists, Kanye. Okay, there's 1,000 yous. There's only one of me. So you might as well be the best possible me I can be, to show others that it's okay to also be them. Okay? Because you can't be anyone else. And the second you try, that's usually when you fail. People can sense when you're not being true to yourself, when you're not being authentic, right? Even though they may not have the words to put it out there, they know when someone is wearing a mask. So it seems like fours who may resonate with this message are having a hard time stepping into their truth. And that's okay. Let's look at, what are my fours holding on to that no longer serves them? Okay. What are the life path fours holding on to that is no longer serving them? Five of Wands. It's a very competitive spirit. Constantly fighting, arguing for one's position, but not taking the time to work with others. Right? Everybody has different gifts, talents, skills, desires, but this 5 of Wands energy is that everyone is too focused on what they want to see the bigger picture. 5 is also the number of adaptability, right? Being able to change and shift perspectives. When it comes to what you want, you know, your own creative spark, what you want in your spirit and your soul, your passions. And so there could be a belief surrounding that, you know, you have to be the best, or you have to have it your way, that perhaps that you have to have this, you know, competitive spirit about you, but the only person who you're ever competing with is yourself, right? You know, you need to learn your lane and stay into it. Because the second you try and go in somebody else's lane, that's when you cause an accident. So maybe there's a belief or energy surrounding competition, or feeling like you have to fight to be in charge, that needs to be let go of here. Now, where do my fours need to be more receiving here? We have the Queen of Pentacles. So, the Queen of Pentacles is a character who is, very nurturing, very dominating when it comes to their career, when it comes to their home, when it comes to their stability. They're very hardworking and independent. But they also are practical when it comes to building their foundation and their security. So this is where there's an imbalance right now in your energy fours. When it comes to your commitments or your work ethic, or not being practical, or more sensible with how we're using our time, effort, and energy, is what I'm getting here. Now, what belief needs to be rewritten for my fours to help them heal going forward? Okay. We got Judgment falling out here. That is fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But Judgment is about awakening to the truth, to the light, to the realness. Okay. You've observed, you researched, you spent enough time and energy and effort into something, and now it's time to just see something for what it is and go for it. Well, with this falling out here, I'm getting more, we're stuck in this, we're needing to constantly keep going. It's like we feel like if we don't keep working, keep moving, keep struggling even, then our whole foundation, our whole entire security, our home, our family is all just going to fall apart. And it's giving me that we aren't even taking the time to pause or rest and reflect our next moves. We're just it's like we faced some sort of criticism in the past about the way we take action. And there's a level of forgiveness. It's like we haven't forgiven ourselves for some sort of commitment, or it's like we feel like we have to be a bully in order to get ahead, is also what I'm getting. That's really keeping us from stepping into our truth. Now, what's a part of 4 that's ready to feel free again here? Okay. You have the Knight of Wands, a lot of fire energy. Now, the Knight of Wands is someone who is very passionate about what they do, right? They have planned, they've looked at the land, they've are very action oriented. But the knights are sometimes young at heart. They have a job to do and they just go and do it. And this night is fueled by infatuation. It's fueled by looks. It's, fueled by external influences. And so there's a part of you that just wants to play. That's what I'm getting. Being more playful, being more joyful, being able to just go and act on a whim. But I'm feeling like we've gotten more judgmental and critical of ourselves, of other people even, who are playful, who are more carefree. What is one step 4s can take to put them in the right direction? Three of Cups. There. Go hang out with friends. Okay? Go celebrate. Go be joyful. Go hang out with other people. Get outside of your comfort zone. Like, make new friends. just go be more, charismatic, outgoing. I feel like we have this in ourselves, but we've got so stuck in a pattern concerning what other people will think of us if we just decide to, let our hair down, or take off our shirt, go do something wild or crazy. Like, ugh. What is a message from 4's higher self, from their soul, from their spirit? The Tower reversed. 10 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Well, now the Tower is Mars energy. And Mars is the planet that influences us when we feel attacked, when we feel defensive, when we feel like we need to stand our ground on something, right? It's very dominant masculine energy, and masculine energy is very action oriented. So it's a lot of movement here. But with this Tower reverse, I'm getting a message from your higher self about not being afraid of letting that tower fall. Okay. You know, the tower is about us building something up so high, but it's not set on a stable foundation. It's not grounded in faith. It's not grounded in spirit. It wasn't built to be revered. It was built simply just for, you know, obsessive desires about needing to build up walls, right? That's what a castle is. It's not allowing anyone else to, you know, come in. You know, setting up moats, setting up gates, setting up, you know, the hounds just to keep people from coming into what you built. And then a giant, you know, lightning bolt, you know, an act of God comes down and breaks open your subconscious mind. Your conscious mind throws both the masculine and feminine energy out of there because it was built on a false foundation. And I feel like we've been avoiding some sort of disaster or some sort of preconceived notion of what it will be like to drop our guard, to let go of these obligations, to let go of our fears, to just be free and have fun for once. You know, I'm getting that song, you know, release your inhibitions, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Now, what's that song? Unwritten is the name of the song. Okay. But it's a song that's about, you know, just speaking, doing, and saying your truth. You know, not being worried about what's going to happen tomorrow, what happened in the past. Just releasing your inhibitions, your limitations, any preconceived ideas of what you think can go wrong probably won't go wrong. But because you're perpetuating this constant cycle of something going wrong, you're now guarded and protecting yourself for absolutely no reason. And the Ten of Wands here is someone who's carrying a lot of weight that is not theirs to carry. And it's really time to release all these burdens. So, be yourself. That's the overall message here. What you got to say, Rebel Deck? Okay. Have you eaten? You are acting like a big ass baby. Okay, it's flipping out reverse, so that means we definitely are acting like a big ass baby. Oh, you need food in your belly. Eat a effing taco. Okay. Now, with this card, I always get this feeling of victimhood. Like, we can't do this because someone told us this, or we can't do this because we don't have this to do this, and you already have everything that you need. But because, when you're a baby, you're only living moment to moment. And you think it's a matter of perception, right? When a parent leaves the room and a child cries, they're not recognizing that the parent's going to come right back. They have no control over their emotional triggers. And it takes time to build up and recognize that, hey, it's not the end of the world if I'm not being held right now. And everything I need is always there. But children are so demanding. They're stressful, I have two of them myself. But over time, you have to just let the child, self-soothe. Allow them to see that you're there, but you're not going to get up every 2 seconds that somebody cries wolf, right? That's not teaching anyone anything. Then we have this, stop texting, stop stalking, start checking up on that person, just haven't stopped. Okay, spend your time, effort, and energy on someone worth it, and don't waste it on ridiculousness. But that again, flipped out upside down here. So again, it's putting our action, putting our time, putting our emotional self, putting our desires, our passions into things that are not going to uplift us, that are not allowing us to simply be who we were created to be. Like, we're not finding any joy in doing it. We're doing it just because we feel like we're obligated to do it. And when you're a parent, okay, I'm back to this again. You can feel like you have an obligation to do something for, a baby, right? Or a child or a toddler, right? You do have an obligation to some point, but there comes a time where it's like, are you allowing that child to grow? Are you allowing that child to develop? Are you allowing that person to explore and regulate themselves so that they can understand the effect that they're having on the parent? Because a parent and child dynamic isn't just a one-way street. And a lot of times we can grow up in situations where parents have this my way or the highway type of mindset, treating parenting like it's a dictatorship instead of a partnership, which it is. If I'm going to expect someone to treat me with respect, I also have to respect that person's beliefs, right? Regardless if they came for me or not. Because at some point they're going to be their own person with their own thoughts. Okay? Then we have laugh over here. Okay. I laugh all the time. I love this card. One of my favorite cards. Okay, where the F is your sense of humor? We're taking something very seriously. Right? Making a big deal out of something when it's not that serious. And we can, there's a thin line between being, chaotically appeasing to your pleasures and desires, like the Joker, and just doing something because it makes you feel good, right? And we may be afraid to go off the handles a little bit because we're so set in our ways, we're so set in a structure, we're so set in a routine that Anything outside of that must be bad. But it's not bad, it's just different. And another thing with us sometimes feeling like we have to put on a mask or doing something that we're not comfortable with, it's simply because we think we're not being ourselves when really we're just not used to that type of program. We're not used to that instrument. We're not used to using our voice, using our feet, using our arms in that type of way. And it's not being fake when you just start something out. You're still learning how to do it. When you first learn how to walk, when you first learn how to talk, when you first learn how to read a book, okay, it's not perfect the first time you do it. And so what do you do when you mess up? You laugh at it because it's funny. But if you make a big deal out of it, no one was thinking about it as heavily as you were in that moment. No one's judging you as heavily as you do yourself on a day-to-day basis. If you stumble and flip over a word or a sentence or mess something up, okay, the only time someone's going to pay attention is if you call attention to it and don't just roll with the punches and keep it moving, keep it stepping, right? So overall, I'm getting that we need to, well, release your inhibitions. Laugh. You don't have to keep things so orderly. There's a part of you that wants to be heard, to feel understood, to, speak out and express yourself and feel joy, and you are allowed to do so, regardless of what other people may do or think or say. Other people are being happy and being truthful to themselves. And that could be you too. So, final card. I like path forward. Well, you got two. Okay. We have a 13 and a 22. Okay, both powerful numbers. 13 is the number of transformation. It is a karmic number that speaks about having a hard time staying grounded and focused and needing to just take things one step at a time. The 3 creates a scattered energy, and the 1 is very independent, but they have that undertone of 4, which wants to bring things together. So with this 13 energy, it's often a number of procrastination, putting something off because we're afraid of the outcome. We're afraid it's not going to be fun, that it's going to be a lot of work, that it's going to take a lot of energy, that, we don't have the strength to do it, that we don't have the authority to do it, it's just perpetuating this idea of what something is going to be. And we haven't even done it yet. Then we have this 22, which is about being able to see the bigger picture, right? This master number is 2 2s, which reflects itself. So we got the 2 mirroring itself, and 2 is the number of mediation, of diplomacy, of being able to see both sides of a situation and getting grounded into that 4 energy, as 2 plus 2 is 4, so there's that undertone of 4 there as well. But these are 2 different types of 4s. 13 is more scattered, or a number centered more on your own personal growth and individual expression of your own beliefs. And 22 holds 4, but it's a number that's more about visualizing your foundation and letting go of people, places, things, outcomes, and just putting your faith and trust in that whatever is for you will be for you. I'm compassionate is what's on the 13 card here. I understand how important it is to have compassion, and not just for others, but for myself as well. I forgive myself for the times I may have let myself down. I forgive others for the same. I realize that, like me, everyone is doing the best they know with the tools they have. I'm compassionate. Yes, that was that forgiveness energy I was feeling. Right? Not everyone knows everything. Not everybody has everything they need at the time they need it. Right? We are all growing and developing at the time that's best for us, not for others. So it's important to forgive yourself for not knowing what you know now at the time that you could have known it. Because then you want to be able to learn and grow and develop from that. Okay? I am transformed, is what's on this 22 card. I see the beauty of change. Everything I have been through transformed me into who I am today. I'm so much braver. I'm so much more caring. I am so much more emotionally intelligent. I am so much more open. I will continue changing and improving. I am transformed. So there you go, 4s. Remain open. Let the tower fall. This is a message I have for you at this time. If any of that resonated with you, great. Please like the video, leave a comment. Let me know how you feel. If it did not, I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you for joining me, and I love you.